Welcome, friends, syncretists, lovers of truth, patrons. So, I believe we're going to have a very successful stream today. I've done a lot of troubleshooting in the last couple of days, and with the help of some friends, I found out that I can no longer use Mozilla Fox. I have to use Google Chrome. So, happy to share with you guys. I'm going to jump straight into this and go straight from where I left off in part one. Now, remember, this is the new channel where I'll be streaming from now on, and all of my content's going to go to this channel, right? Because the other one, I don't own that. I never did, and I think the guy who did own it has passed away because he doesn't reply to my messages, and he was a good friend for 10 years. All right, so where we left off last week was we were talking about the Earth and the flat Earth map, right? And we mentioned that this was Mount Meru, Mount Moriah. In the Bible, Abraham stands on Mount Moriah. Moriah is the same in Lord of the Rings. In the Middle Earth is Mount Moriah, and that's Mount Meru, and it's magnetic. Okay, so that's why astrology is Northern Hemisphere based. Remember, this is the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and that's the equator. So the 24 elders that stand around the throne of God, throne being an anagram of north, this is what we have. So essentially, if you want to take a screenshot, that's your 24-hour clock. At the top, you have midday. Over here, you have the morning, 6 a.m. Midnight, and over here is the sunset. So you see, just like in astrology, you have the east over here. So if you want to understand the signs of astrology, all you have to do is look at this. So to understand Aries people are 6 to 8 o'clock in the morning. That's their energy. The energy of Taurians is from 8 to 10 in the morning. The energy of Geminians is 10 to 12. Cancer, Leo, the hottest part of the day is between 2 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. And there's the fire sign Leo. Interesting. Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, the sexual generative area, between 8 and 10 every night. Do you think all of your parents that procreated you, do you think they were busy trying to generate children around about between 8 and 10? I got a hunch that more people have been born because, of course, you have to come home from work at 6 o'clock. You eat, you put the kids to bed at 8 o'clock, and you go to bed because you want 8 hours of sleep because your alarm clock is going to wake you up 8 hours later. So you want to be getting busy making babies in Scorpio time. You see? You see how it works? Sagittarius is the arrow that shoots to the midnight. Capricorn is the dark sign of Saturn. Aquarius. And then Pisces is the coldest time of the day. So that's how we see that this wheel, as a 24-hour clock. Okay? And the man The man or the woman. I'm just going to use man because woman is a man, a woman. That's the tree in the center of the torus field, and the plane of the inertia is from the heart. Okay. Is everyone hearing me good? Yeah, Meru is Mary. Exactly. Mary is magnetism. Looks like everybody's. Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Nolan. Okay. So the man is going to be very important soon because we're going to put the man in the zodiac wheel. That's the third thing that we have to do before we progress. So in most of my graphics, these are my graphics. There are 11 of them on my Universal Truth School website. Now, I've only made A3 here, but they're printable to any size you want. Okay, so you'll see it's the same setup, exactly the same setup. There's Aries, and you'll see it's color coded, the 12 colors. And I teach this in the synesthetic method of teaching music, by the way. This is the note G, G sharp. A is orange. B flat is orange yellow. B is yellow. C is green. Now, wait a minute. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp. That'll be D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Anyway, you can see the man. So you see the cerebrum, that belongs to Aries. Aries rules the cerebrospinal nervous system. Taurus is ruled by the cerebellum, just here behind the small brain, the motor brain. Aries is the sensory brain. Gemini rules the lungs and the breathing. Cancer rules the stomach. Leo, the heart. Virgo, the bowels. Libra, the kidneys. The two scales, the two kidneys. The kidneys is the seat of justice, the scales of justice. Scorpio, the generative system, and you can see it lines up with the man, okay? And then you see the hours that you're sleeping between 10 o'clock and 6 o'clock to get your 8 hours of sleep. That's where there are no vital organs. Interesting, isn't it? It's just your legs, starting at Sagittarius, the hips, Capricorn, the skeletal system, Aquarius, then Pisces, the feet. All right, so we're going to learn about that. Now, sometimes when I have graphics that do just the houses, we're going to get to that eventually. You'll see the man goes underneath because now Aries is going the right way. Okay, so this has to do with the houses. We haven't even touched that yet. So I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just want to sort of deal with the question of why is the man sometimes upside down in your graphics and why do you have it above in other graphics? Well, there's a reason. You'll work that out soon, okay? This is the graphic that I have on the 12 tissue salts. Okay, so you see Aries, they need potassium phosphate. All right, that's their tissue salt. So you see the man now is going up, okay? Because I'm starting with Aries here. Either I start with Aries here. If I start with Aries here and go that way, then the man will go the other way, okay? Again, another one of my graphics. This deals with all the essential dignities, and we're going to do that today. We're going to show you how the sun is the ruler of Leo and how the moon is the ruler of Cancer, right? And then all the other rulers on the outside here. So we'll do that as well. Now, before I progress, I want to share my screen, and this is what I had trouble with last week. So let's hope we can pull this off. All right, here we go. First, I want to show this model to you and why this is the model. Okay, it is the model of astrology, and if you really want to be a competent astrologer, you have to go back to the ancient system, guys. There's no globe. There's no solar centric astrology. It doesn't exist. It's all geocentric, and we're going to see this in the video now. So I'm going to share my screen. Which one do I want? Okay. All right. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm just hoping that you're going to be able to hear it. Okay? Listen carefully. Right, did you notice that? Notice the equator also has a gap. Now, I spoke in part 1 about how the seasons change. Once the energy hits the equator, it flips over. So I was born in Australia on March the 24th. I'm still an Aries because this shows you how it's unidirectional. Now, you notice the latitude lines? Pay attention. It's marking out the latitude lines, guys. All right, now let me just check that everybody's happy that they can see that. Oh, you're not hearing anything from the video? Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, what if I turn this off? I'm going to turn my mic off. I know what to do. I think I know what to do, guys. Let's try now. Here we go again. All right, we're hearing it now. Still no sound. Oh my God, this is a disaster. This is a total disaster. Oh my God. Man, oh man. I don't understand what's going on. Hang on, I'm just going to take this call. Yo, brother.
Yeah, you're all good. You just shared screen instead of sharing like your desktop screen to where like you can see everything, just share the specific tab that you want
Okay.
to have up.
Gotcha. All right. Thanks, man.
Yep, you're welcome. Bye.
All right, guys. My tech guys are there to help me. Oh, this is so good. All right. So let's go again. All right. So share screen. I've got to stop. Right. Share which one? This one. Okay. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's try again. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we heard that. Yo.
I'm sorry. Could you share your screen with me real quick?
I'm on my phone, man.
I'm not sure.
Maybe I picked the wrong one. I'll try again. Maybe I picked the wrong. If it doesn't work, we'll do a share screen on my computer.
It's not anymore. Whatever you just did, you clicked onto it, and so now we can see the screen. So now if you play, we might be able to hear the audio.
All right. Can you hear it now? All right.
Share screen.
All right. Let me fix this then.
At least for me. For other people, it might be different. My screen is frozen. Oh, all good now.
All right. All right. Try this one. Okay. Here we go, guys. Very sorry. Very embarrassing. All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go, guys. I'm going to press play.
Oh, you mean like this? All the way around? Lining up with the latitudes? Just like the compass? Because there's only one fixed to the center source of the magnetic field created by the source magnet, the point charge, whatever you want to call it. Strange how the equator lines up too, huh? Weird. Very strange. Looks like I have the exact same thing that you said I wasn't doing happening on the screen. Weird. Very strange. Strange coincidence. Oh, wait a second. My compass seems to be pointing in one direction. Like it always does. The bar magnet attracts iron at both sides because it's two different magnet fields.
Orientational polarizability, one fixed direction.
There you go. If everyone was happy. Can you hear that? Was that completely audible? Someone in the chat? Oh, great. Great. Okay. So let's go. Now, notice how he said when he started.
Oh, you mean like this? Is that what you're referring to?
There's Mount
All the way
Meru.
around? Lining up with the latitudes?
Lining up with the latitudes. This is going to be very important in a minute.
Just like the compass? Because there's only one fixed direction?
There's only one fixed
The
direction.
center source of the magnetic field created by the, the source magnet, the point charge, whatever you want to call it. Strange how the equator lines up too, huh?
Right. Notice the equator. Remember last week I said that when the equator is, when the energy flows past the equator, it flips over and the seasons flip over, but the signs do not. Okay, so you're still an Aries. If you were born in March, you're not a Libran. All right. Good. Everybody's listening and it sounds good. Fantastic. Continuing on with this video, make a note of it. It's on my channel, Syncretism. Okay. Just make a note of what it's called. Let's continue on with this. And what we're going to see is we're going to see the model that David Lapointe in the Primer Fields. It's very important that you watch this video. If you'll learn about it once you watch these videos of mine. Is this one here? It's an hour and 13 minutes long. It's called Plain Earth is Scientific, Globe Earth is Not, and I published that in 2019. Please, please, please watch this video, okay? Then you'll understand that there's no globe and you'll understand how it works. So here
steel balls
here it is.
And you're okay.
Balls to form the amazing arrays shown here. The only thing holding these balls in position are the magnetic fields emanating from these two balls. Could this truly be the way that atomic and molecular structures are properly
surrounded? This is the pattern of all forms.
So these are balls. These are steel balls that are inside the center of the hyperbola, guys. And you'll see the flower of life is being created right now before
Like
your
this.
eyes. There it is.
This is of clear acrylic, which does not come in contact with the magnetic balls at all. Therefore,
So what you see is he's got two magnetic balls, and then he's got in the middle here, he's got some plastic, right? On top of that plastic, we have ball bearings. Look at the way they behave.
it is only the magnetic fields of the red and blue balls which are responsible for the shape of the patterns we observe here. Causes
You see what's happening? He's adding balls, one ball at a time, and look at what the magnetic field does. It separates the balls, and it does that in perpetuity.
Now, this is interesting because this leads me to the
non-magnetized steel balls.
Okay, I'm going to stop. We want another to share an Astrolab video that I just received this morning. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to watch one more video.
An astrolabe has many uses, from identifying stars to finding daily time. It may have been developed by the Greeks, but it reached its zenith in the hands of Islamic scientists. They wanted to make better, more accurate instruments to calculate.
This is an Islamic astrolabe. And this instrument is actually a mechanical computer. What you see here is the projection of the sky for a specific latitude. This is for Istanbul.
Etched on the base plate is the horizon line. Precise altitude circles.
Notice this is the horizon line, guys. This is all happening on a flat Earth. Just think about it. Think about it.
Marking the sun's height above the horizon, and the meridian showing midday and midnight.
We've already learnt about the meridian point. Okay, we know about that. It goes from midday to midnight.
Top of the base plate is a movable plate showing stars and constellations, and a ring that represents the apparent movement of the sun throughout the year. It's labeled with dates.
It starts with one single observation. And we will actually try to maintain the position of this piece exactly aligning with the sun. I think it's now aligned. This is a perfect alignment.
Yo.
And we just read the altitude.
Yo. Hello? Sorry, guys. This is just so awful. I'm really, really sorry. It's very disappointing. Yo.
Hey, I don't know. It didn't work the first time when I called, but you're on a black screen again. So whatever you did to show, like, I can't see your screen.
All right, let's try now. See.
Sorry, let me just.
I
can see you.
I just reset. I'm sharing my screen, guys.
Oh, there we go. It's up now.
Okay. Thanks for calling, brother. We'll start again. Here we go, guys.
An astrolabe has many uses, from identifying stars to finding daily time. It may have been developed by the Greeks, but it reached its zenith in the hands of Islamic scientists. They wanted to make better, more accurate instruments to calculate time.
This instrument is actually a mechanical computer. What you see here is the projection of the sky for a specific latitude. This is for Istanbul.
Etched on the base plate is the horizon line.
Notice that screenshot, the horizon line, guys.
Pursued circles marking the sun's height above the horizon, and the meridian showing midday and
the meridian, we all know about that. On the top is midday. At the bottom is night.
midnight. On top of the base plate is a movable plate showing stars and constellations, and a ring that represents the apparent movement of the sun throughout the year. It's labeled with dates.
It starts with one single observation. And we will actually try to maintain the position of this piece exactly aligning with the sun. I think it's now aligned. This is a perfect alignment. And we just read the altitude from here to here. It's 54 degrees.
That means the sun is 54 degrees above the horizon. The user now turns the astrolabe over to find the 54-degree circle on the bottom plate. Next step, find and mark the date. It's etched on the ring that represents the sun's path. Then rotate the plate until the date aligns with the altitude mark. If you take a piece of string from the center of the astrolabe through the aligned points, you can read the time from the rim. The line is like the hand of a clock. It's 4 minutes past 2 in the afternoon.
Once we reach that, we can calculate any time. So that is not a simple to use instrument, but accurate enough for all timekeeping applications.
All right. To hear that, guys. I hope so. Anyway, if not, I'll make these videos. They're on my channel. I just uploaded that astrolabe one on the Syncretism channel. Okay. Thanks, Nolan. Thank you so much, brother. Okay. Now I won't be needing to share the screen, so we're not going to have any more problems. I've got my mic here. Let's get him right up there under me. Now, before we continue on, let's clear something up. These are magnets, okay? I use these for biomagnetic healing. You know, you put them on your head or something, whatever. If you've got a, for instance, I just injured my thumb. Okay, so what I did was I put the magnet there, and I walked around like that, and that it healed my thumb. And then I turned them around. I did the other side as well. You see, black is one polarity, red is another polarity. So you have to know which ones you're using, okay? Now, these are magnets, but what people think is magnetic attraction is not. There's no such thing. Magnetism does not attract. It repels. So this, let's make this a little bit lighter. We've got a lot of clunky stuff there. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Let's just do the two magnets. Okay. So this is gravitational attraction. Magnetism is this. Where you can't push them together. Okay? Study Ken Wheeler. Study all the great magnetricians. So magnetism is repelling. There's no such thing as magnetic attraction. It's the opposite. Gravitational attraction. That's gravitational. Not gravity. Gravity is a theory. There are two things happening. Radiation and gravitation. This is gravitation, what we call magnetic attraction. This is radiation. That's magnetism. It's radiating. Okay? Very important for the progress of what we're learning. So remember we said last week, okay, so most people who follow my syncretism, they know that I always start here with Aries and I go around this way. And people point out, well, that's the wrong way. I say, well, it's not. It's the right way. Because remember in lesson 1, I showed you the Masonic Royal Arch. I showed you the Dendera stone. It's all done like this. But if you want to be right, well, then put Aries here and go that way. And then that's the right way, east to west, because it doesn't go west to east. So we're going to fix that right now, okay? You're probably already confused, but if you watch, a lot of people write to me and say, how can I learn astrology? Where's your astrology courses? And I say to them, just watch all my presentations because they all go back to astrology, the sine wave. Just watch all my presentations and you'll be a master astrologer just by watching the presentations. So before we go on, let's just have a look at it the correct way around. And let's put Aries over where it should be. Kaplonk. There it is. Look at all these planets that are about to go into Aries. Neptune. I think Venus is already in there. Let me just check what's going on in the stars. Yeah, Mercury is in and Neptune. The other two are not. Oh, we have Taurus today, guys. Okay, so the sun is now, there it is, right on the cusp. Tomorrow we enter Taurus, guys. Tomorrow. So Venus is still here, but Mercury is here. So you know they're going this way, okay? So all the planets are going counterclockwise, but the sky is turning around the middle of the Earth counterclockwise. But where's the moon? I bet the moon's in Scorpio. God damn, it's in Capricorn. Shit. Woo. So the moon's gone. It's gone since the last couple of days. So moon's in Capricorn. Okay. So let's go back to here. Okay, so what we have here is we have red for fire, green for earth, orange for air, and blue for water. Now, these are 4 frequencies. In science, they call this plasma, gas, liquid, and solid. That's plasma, that's solid, that's gas, and that's liquid. They are 4 states. Without these 4 states, we wouldn't exist. If you removed the air, the gas, frequency, out of reality, nothing would exist. Nothing would move. If there wasn't water, I wouldn't be able to do this with my bones because my bones are solid. They're not flexible. They don't go like this, right? Right? But the muscles do, right? So this is water. This is water and solid, gas and plasma, what you are witnessing. We need these 4, okay? Now, I did miss something. I want to go back. I'm sharing my screen because I want to go back to the flat Earth model to show you the trickery that's going on with the time zones and how you know that we're living on a flat Earth. This is very simple. Here we go. So look at that screenshot time. Now, isn't it funny that there are 19 time zones in the Northern Hemisphere? 19. There are 24 on the equator, of course, and there are 2 in the Southern Hemisphere. Well, remember, guys, it's unidirectional. All the energy comes from Mount Meru at the North Pole, and these are the 24 time zones at the equator, right? Why would there be 32 time zones out here? It does not make sense. And only 19 in the Northern Hemisphere. Are you getting it? Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that point. Because that was a distraction. So we see here, we have 4 frequencies: fundamental, creative, active, and passive principles. They are the 4 solid, or what they call the 4 states of matter. Plasma. In astrology, fire. Now let's do it the right way. Plasma. In science talk, plasma. Astrology, fire. In science talk, gas. In astrology, air. In science talk, liquid. In astrology talk, water. And the pinky, the last one, is solid in science talk and earth in astrology talk. Okay, so these are the 4 solid states. So we have 4 elements. But here's the thing. We also have, see, so there's three fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And then there's 3 water, 3 air, and 3 earth. Well, Aries is a cardinal fire. Taurus is a fixed fire. And Sagittarius is mutable. So with 4 elements and 3 modalities, we have 12 signs. So now we have to explain this. This is where we begin to explain the 3 modalities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. All right? So let's go back to the map of the Earth, and I'm going to use the ever trusty transverse map. We have the Tropic of Cancer. We have the Tropic of Capricorn. And we have the equator. All right. And what we have, of course, is we have the sine wave, of course. Well, what we did was we went like this, and then we went. What I want to do now is I just want to do a circular one. So I'm going to do just one big circular one. All right. And now in astrology, that's the symbol for the Earth, a circle with a cross in it. That's the symbol of the Earth. And you notice that there's no Earth around here. There's no Earth. That's Mars, that's Jupiter, that's Uranus, Sun, Mercury, no Earth. Okay. So what we do now is we're going to put in Aries. Taurus. Gemini. Cancer. Leo. Virgo. You know what? I should have done this a little bit different. I reckon I should have done it real different like. Sagittarius. This needs to be water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And we've got Libra and Aquarius. So now we know that the equinox happened. Remember, we had a 24-hour clock here. We have 6 a.m., 12, midday, 6 p.m., and then 12 midnight. Good, you can see that. Okay, well, same thing with the year. Okay, so here we have the 21st of March. So you see the equinoxes corresponds with the sunrise and sunset. So the other equinox is September 23. And then up here we have June 21st. And then down the bottom here, I'll take this off because you all know midnight is here. We're going to have December the 21st. So what we have, this is why we call it tropical astrology, because it's based on the tropical points which never move. This is the Holy Cross. This is the Holy Cross, the meridian. And the earth, the horizon. Okay, now, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this: cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So that's how we get 12 different frequencies on every sine wave. There are no repeats. So cardinal, these are the 4 cardinal points, right? So the signs that precede them are cardinal, because cardinal means door, portal, door or hinge. So these points here are very, very crucial in establishing this science, this holy science, okay? Because it never moves. The equinoxes have always been happening there, and they always will. Okay, so this is the spring, this is the summer, this is the autumn, and this is the winter. Okay? Now, so of course, the astrological year begins with the first sign Aries, and it is cardinal fire. Think about it. There could never be any other element in first position. Because you see here, the day and the night is equal. It's equal. So on my birthday, the 24th of March, right here, that's the last day of the year. The first day is the 25th of March, just like they do the 25th of December for Christmas. Capricorn is Christmas, Aries is Easter, okay? So Easter always happens here. So the new year gets injected with cardinal fire, cardinal plasma. What's the difference between cardinal, fixed, and mutable? Well, it's easy. So let's say you have a fire nozzle, a fireman's hose, and you have it turned on. Okay, so cardinal will be the compact water at the nozzle. It's compact. It's the essence. It's compressed. It's strong, right? Then with your hose, once the water reaches the air, it sort of spreads out, but it's still a body of water. That would represent the fixed fire. So it's not strong nozzle fire like Aries. It's more fixed. It's more expanded. It's stable. Not that this isn't stable. The only one that is unstable is the mutables. Mutable means to mutate. So this is unstable fire. This is very stable fire, and this is very strong fire. And you'll notice that it turns out that spring and summer have got winter down below. There's only fire, which is the weakest of the fire. All the mutable signs, all the mutable water, Pisces, mutable earth, Virgo, mutable, all these mutable ones, because you see you have 4 quadrants. Cardinal, fixed, mutable, that does the season of spring. The beginning of spring, the blossoms, now the fruits are maturing, and that's the end of spring. So you see, spring begins, it's cardinal, the door opens. Then Taurus, well, obviously Taurus is the dominant spring sign, because spring is in its full bloom, right? So you have the fixability of the season. The season is fixed, spring, and then the season is changing. It's mutating. And every quadrant does this. The summer does it, cardinal, fixed, mutable. It starts, it has a middle, and it ends. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Cardinal, fixed, mutable. Creation, preservation, destruction. Creation, preservation, destruction. Creation, preservation, destruction. So you see, not only are there 4 frequencies, there are 3 modalities of those frequencies. There's the beginning part of it, there's the middle bit, and then there's the end. It's pretty much like when you get on an airplane, you know, you fly from Europe to America, right? Takeoff requires a lot of energy, right? So the plane's on a 45-degree angle, it's climbing. That's cardinal. Right, then when it gets up to 35,000 feet, it just stays level. Well, that's fixed. It's fixed. It's not moving. It's not going up and down. It's just fixed. It's just going to France in Europe or New York in America, right? Then when the pilot decides he's got to nose down and land, that's mutable. It's ending. The ride is ending. Okay? So now you understand that not only are there 4 states that make everything fluid in the world, 4 conditions, there are 3 modalities on top of those conditions. So you have to understand, if you're a Piscean, your emotional, watery, fluid nature is mutable, which means your emotions may change. I have a Pisces moon, so that is the emotional nature of the individual, the soulful, receptive nature, reactive nature, and mine is Pisces. That's why sometimes I react kind and nice, and other times I'm rude and nasty. That's the moon I have. You see, you have to understand these things. So, and the sun and the moon are not just the 2 primary signs. Remember, the rising sign, the sign that is rising, is your earth sign. It's your body sign. So mine is Leo, for instance. So if we look at my chart, you see Leo's rising in the east. Right? So that's since this line is the earth, the rising sign or the ascendant, when people say, what's your ascendant? Well, they're asking, what sign occupies your body? Now, the sun sign also occupies the body as well, but it's not the body. The rising sign is the body. It's the personality. It's the ego. It's who you are down here on the earth, and who you think you are, and who you pretend you are, and who you act like you are, and who people think you are. All right. So we're going to get into that as well. All right. So we see here now that we haven't complicated things, but we've made them more understandable. It's not so simple that there are 3 fire signs and that they should all be the same. Of course, these guys are all different. Anyone born under these signs, they're all different. And depending on the modality, you can tell when you're meeting someone who has a rising sign that is fixed, like myself. You can see, you can almost feel that, So people who have fire signs rising, so let's say Leo rising. So if you were born at this hour, because this is always going around every day, right? So I'm in Aries. My sun is here in Aries, right? So, and I was born at about 4 o'clock. So my sun was over here, right? Well, here is 4 o'clock. And I've got Leo rising, all right? So let me just put... Let me just put that where my birthday is so you can see. Okay, so people who have fire, fixed fire. Fire has to do with power, energy, and action. Earth, stability and solidity. So they will emanate from their body, they will emanate stability. You'll feel it because it's their rising sign. Air signs are spatial, mental. You'll feel the mental force of the individual. You'll tell, you can feel the airy, their mental energy is very spatial. And people have water signs rising, their bodies are very fluid. They make great sports people. They're very fluid and emotional. So why am I targeting the rising sign? Well, because that's really the beginning point. Your lowest point, your earth sign. And you'll see, like, if you know what to look for, you'll see in me a blend of Aries and Taurus and Leo. You'll see that. We'll get into that later on, probably toward the final parts of the presentation. But again, you have to realize, so a Sagittarius rising person, well, they're going to be very powerful and they're going to have energy and plasma emanating from them. But what you get from fire people is also a general sense of energy. People with fire rising signs are the most energetic, regardless of the sun sign. It's the rising sign. Remember, because the rising sign imprints itself on your body, because your body is the earth, right? And remember, we had a man around here. We have to put a man in here now to make this complete. So let's do that. And we have the head of the man here. So the cerebrum is here in Aries. Cerebram is the ram, the cerebram, the ram, the Lamb of God. Of course, the Lamb of God sits on top of Mount Zion, your spinal column. The Passover lamb, because you have to pass over the equinox to get into the Passover lamb, and then you eat the Passover lamb at Easter. And then, of course, here we have May Day, another festival in May in Taurus. The cross-quarter days. The cross-quarter days are here. That's the 1st of November, Halloween. That's Love Mass Day, the 1st of October. And here's Groundhog Day, 1st of February. So we've got the 1st of May over here, May Day. And this is the cerebellum. Okay, so this is the motor brain. Here we have the lungs, here the stomach, here the heart, here the bowels, here the kidneys, here's the generative system, and this is the legs. And that's when you're sleeping for 8 hours every day. Very interesting. So you can see from the energy of the day how everything works. You have the sun rising. You see, spring people, they are very, very youthful. These are the babies, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini of the zodiac. These are the adolescents. These are the mature people, and these are the old souls, in a sense. Okay? So the sun is a baby in the morning, but then it's a big baby, like it's getting big, and then it's finished its baby stage, okay? And then things start getting hot. And then the fall happens. Well, that's why it falls. You see, the sun falls when it hits the 23rd of September. Just excuse me one tick, guys. It's raining outside. I've got to check the door. Okay, it's been pouring rain, and I got water leaking in this place. Okay, so right, so we see now every cycle has 4 humours. Okay, the 4 humours. And they are the 2 active ones, cold and hot, and the 2 passive ones, dry and moist. Okay, so these ones are agents or active, which is hot and cold. Hot and cold are agents, they are active. Whereas moisture and dryness, they are patients or passive. So again, hot and cold are 2 active agent humours. Cold and moist are 2 passive patient humours. Okay, so what are the humours? Well, the spring is moist. Every cycle begins with moisture. Moisture generates heat. So the summer is hot. Heat generates dryness. So the fall is dry, the leaves go dry. And then dryness generates coldness. And that's the winter. Now let's try that with the day. Okay, 6 a.m. So the morning dew is on the water. The morning is moist. Moisture generates heat. The afternoon is very hot, especially when you go to the beach at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Then the sun sets, everything goes dry. And then at 12 o'clock, midnight, things get really cold. Now, what about the man? Well, babies are moist when they're born. When they're teenagers, they get hot. Then when they grow up, they start drying up. I'm 62. I can remember when I was a lot more moist than this. So dry. And then when you get old, you get cold. Funny how that happens to rhyme, doesn't it? So children begin moist. They're very moist. Then they get hot. They get all these ambitions and desires and sexual urges. Then they start drying up and got a few wrinkles, grey hair, and then they get old and cold. Same with a motor, 4-stroke engine. The first stroke, moisture from the carburetor. Every cycle begins with moisture. Every cycle. Every cycle does this. There's no cycle that starts with heat. Everything starts with moisture, hydrogen. Okay? So the valve opens, moisture goes in. Second thing, spark. Moisture generates heat. Then the exhaust valve opens and everything is pulled out, all the exhaust, the carbon monoxides, and it's dry. The engine is dry. Then, just before the moisture comes, it gets cool again. And then the carburetor valve opens and starts it again. Moisture, spark and heat, dryness, exhaust, coolness. And that's how a 4-stroke engine works, 2-stroke engine. And every single cycle, every single wave begins with the moisture of the hydrogen and nitrogen of Aries. All right? And then Cancer is generating, with water, it's the humidity is generating the heat. And then the air is generating the dryness. And then the earth here is cold. So we've just seen how cycles work with the 4 humours. Whether we go with the day or the year, we've got spring, moist, summer, hot, fall, dry, winter, cold. We have the morning moist, we have the afternoon dry, hot, we have the evening dry, we have the nighttime cold. We have little children that are moist, they get hot, they dry up, get grey hair, and then they get old and cold. They're always cold, the old people. Oh, I need a jacket, it's cold. No, it's not, Grandma, it's just, you're just, am I still going? Okay. Yeah. So I saw someone mention expansion, contraction there. Well, just remember what we had before. You know, expansion is radiation, magnetism, right? Contraction, that's gravitation. That's not magnetic attraction. There is no such thing. Please understand this, guys, because it's in these fine details that you penetrate the sciences as deep as possible. All right, so we've got all the humours. And we've actually done everything this way, but we know that our board is upside, the astrological wheel is upside down, but this is for geographic purposes. This is so that we can get a 24-hour clock going clockwise. This is so that we can get the year on there. This is so that we can get the man on there. So this is how you do this, okay? This is how it's always done. And just remember that if you have a planet, as you see that you have three different, in each quadrant, you have three different modalities, right? You don't have all the elements in every quadrant. So this quadrant is lacking water. This quadrant is lacking air. There's no air in this one. This one is lacking earth. There's no earth in this quadrant. And this one here is lacking fire. Of course, the winter. Of course, there's no fire here. So you see, but the quadrants are tidy for the modalities because you know that you can have cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Beginning of spring, middle of spring, changing ending of spring. So when we go to the houses, now we're going to start dealing with the houses, right? Now look at this. So what we have, the first house corresponds to Aries. I am. Right? Now, this quadrant of the houses have different names. This is an angle house. This is a succedent. And this is a cadent. Remember, cadent and mutable have to do with decay. Cadent is decadent. So you see, even in the house system, so the first house corresponds with Aries. I am, it's your personality. Your first house is your personality, your personal desires and ambitions. Taurus, the second house, will have to do with money and family values and all your value systems, what you value. The third house will have Geminian themes, communication, Mercury, intelligence, education, how your mind thinks, your brothers and sisters, because there's twins, right? So it has to do with brothers and sisters and siblings. Cancer, we all know that the crab lives inside his home. So the fourth house has to do with Cancer, the home. There's your home. Whatever planet you have there will tell you how you act in the home. Well, you've got Mars in Cancer. That's going to be a bit of a mixture because Mars does not like Cancer. We'll get to that. We'll understand. So that might be a bit of trouble in your home life, right? You might find that Mars is always causing trouble in your home life, in your foundation house. Here is your heart. Leo is the heart. So this house has to do with romance, hobbies, recreation, enjoyments, pleasure, romance. Leo. Sickness. Remember, all the cadent houses are the weak ones. So we're going to put a little sign there. That these ones here are the weak ones. Right? So, seventh house has to do with partners and marriage. Well, of course, Libra, the two scales, the two partners, other people. So the seventh house is akin to Libran themes, other people, justice, public enemies, marriage, partners, etc. Scorpio, death and transformation. sexuality. This house tells you about how much sexual appeal you have, or how much sexual energy that you have. It also shows you what if you have power of healing and transforming and investigating deep things. This is the house of the priestess or the priest, the servant of the gods, of the stars, the philosopher, the traveler. If you've got a bunch of planets here, like that, right? Well, you're going to be traveling the world. I mean, you're going to be traveling the world because this is the house of travel. All right. If you've got a whole bunch of planets over here, you're going to have a big career. You know, you're going to be famous. You're going to have a lot of respect. You know, whoops, we should have Capricorn there because Capricorn's all about success, the king, career. Sagittarians are the travelers. Scorpios are the healers, right? So it all corresponds, okay? So no matter what time you're born and no matter what sign matches up with the houses, they'll never be, it's very rare that the signs match up with the houses. It's very rare. The only people who have that are people who are born around 6 a.m. because there's the sun, and if you're born at 6 a.m., right, around 6 a.m., well, then you've got the signs matching the houses. Aries, 1, Taurus, 2, 3, Gemini, Cancer, 4, Leo, 5, Virgo, 6, Libra, 7, Scorpio, 8, Sagittarius, 9. And see, you can see that the numbers also speak about 9 is about philosophy, perfection in wisdom, seeing with the third eye. 10 is all about political and kingly stuff and earthly success and making it to having honors and degrees and distinctions. 11, Aquarius, well, they're the friendly ones. This is the house of social living, your social life, the way you treat your friends, the way you have aspirations, because the Aquarians are always aspiring. This is the house of hidden things under the water, Pisces, you know. Pisceans are dreamy. So when this is about dreaming, it's about uncovering things from past lives, from like deja vu things of things that happened on other timelines. Here is where you get, if you've got a bunch of planets there like here, you know, you're going to be an awakened person. You're going to be not woke, you're going to be awakened, because this house here really wakes people up. It gets them connected to the superconscious, the universal mind. All right, so we know though that we're not always going to have an Aries, you know, we're not always going to have an Aries rising. Not everyone has an Aries rising. Only people who have an Aries rising, only will be people that will have the signs aligned with the houses, right? So if you've got Taurus rising, it's out, but it doesn't make a difference. It matters not, because that's your chart. Okay, it's handy when you've got Aries rising. Everyone out there who's an Aries rising person, it's pretty good because it's simple. It's way more simple to read your chart, because whatever Scorpio means, wherever Scorpio is in your chart, let's say it's down here, it will still have the same meaning as the 8th house because it's the 8th sign. So it will bring it will bring Scorpio energy into the 4th house. Sagittarius will bring its energy into the 5th house, right? And these cusps are the same as these cusps. So you've got the cusps. So right now we have the sun is right on the cusp of Aries and Taurus, but then you've got these cusps here. This is the first cusp. So ascendant is the first thing that the astrologer wants to know. What's your rising sign? The ascendant, because it's the first cusp. It's the most important house because it tells them about you. The second one that astrologers want to know about is the MC. They want to know about your path, your career. Whether you have dignified planets in here or scoundrel planets in here. You know, you might be someone your career is all about swindling people. Well, you probably have Saturn and Mars up here or something, you know. I don't know. Or Mercury retrograding. That's nasty. But if you've got Venus and Jupiter or the Sun up here, you can pretty rest assured that this person will have a lot of honor and will be very valuable in his workplace and in his career. He will give a lot in the public. This is the public life. This is the social life. This is the private life. This is you, your personality. This is your money, your wealth, your intelligence and education, your home and your foundation, your heart and your romance and your pleasures. This is about serving others and self-improvement and sickness. This is about partners and marriage. This is about death and transformation, travel and philosophy, public life, social life, private life, and is hidden, like hidden enemies as well. Okay, we'll get into all of that. All right, so now what I want to do is start this all over again and go into some more fields. All right. Just give me 1 sec, guys. All right, so let's do this all over again. Now we all know that the Tropic of Cancer is here and the Tropic of Capricorn in the geographical system, so we'll stick with that. Okay, so we've got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay, so remember I showed you this chart about the debilities and the dignities? Well, see, when a planet is in a sign, if it has compatible energy, it's dignified and you score points. You actually score points. If you've got, for instance, me, I have a sun in Aries. Well, that happens to be where the sun exalts. So I get 4 points of essential dignity. Okay? Essential means which sign the planet is in. Accidental is which house the planet is in. For instance, I'm Aries, and I was born around 4 o'clock. So my sun is essentially in Aries, but it's accidentally in the 7th house. Because the time of birth is an accident. It only happens once. Twice is a coincidence. 3 times is a pattern. So whatever is happening in here, which planets affect which house, that is an accidental dignity. But here we're looking at the essential dignity. So my sun is in Aries, my sun is exalted. Bang, I have 4 points. My Jupiter is in Pisces. I get 5 points because that's a domicile. So let's explain that right now before we go any further. So this is the chart of the dignities, which you can get on my site, as I said. And it shows you on the outside is the domicile, the white planets. We're going to focus on those now. We're going to do the planets on the outside, and we're going to give them their homes because the planets have homes. Then these purple ones, they are the exaltation. The orange is the detriment. And then the black ones here are where they fall. That's where they don't do well at all. That's where they are debilitated. Okay? So Mercury is debilitated in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces. And Mercury is in detriment in Pisces. So Mercury hates Pisces 2 ways. So again, the sun hates Aquarius. The sun is in detriment in Aquarius, whereas the sun rules Leo. Right? So we're going to do that now. We're going to do the 4 different types of dignities and abilities. So we have the sun rules Leo. We have the moon rules Cancer. And that's it. The sun and the moon only have one domicile. Whereas the other 5 planets, they get 5 around this way and 5 around that way. And this is how it works, okay? Mercury, the ruler of Virgo. I made him look like a proper devil. Now, notice that Mercury is close to the sun. Well, Mercury goes over here as well. So now you know where Mercury's 2 domiciles are. If you just remember that Leo and Cancer in the summer, if you can remember that is the domicile, Leo is the domicile, the only domicile that it's got is in Leo, and the sun in Cancer. And then we go Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn in the order of their closeness to the Earth, not to the sun. Okay? Remember that. Venus. I thought I'd put her in green because she looks very much like Mercury. She just doesn't have the hermaphrodite horns. Mars, oh boy. There you go. Let's keep going. Jupiter. And then we'll make Saturn black. There you go. So now you see why Satan in the winter, this is the winter, you see why Satan is down here and the sun, Jesus Christ, the Savior, and his 12 disciples, he's always on top. You see? Okay? So you see, Saturn opposes the sun in Aquarius, and Saturn opposes the moon in Capricorn. Now, these lines here are called oppositions. All right, so let's do the oppositions. Let me just check that. All right, so the oppositions are 180 degrees. And they are the worst aspects. And Saturn is the ruler of the opposition. The opposition, which is like this. Okay? That's an opposition. 180 degrees. And you can see how that is formed just by the structure of how this was already perfectly made by the gods. Not me. I didn't do any of this. I just know it. All right. So these are called aspects, right? An aspect, for instance, an aspect can also be like this. If the moon is next to Pluto, that's an aspect. It's called a conjunction, all right? But the opposition, let's say you've got Mercury here and you've got Pluto over here, that's 180 degrees. That's an opposition. And that's the nastiest of all the aspects. We're going to learn 4 aspects here, okay? Jupiter, now Jupiter, he makes a trine with the sun because he's in Sagittarius, which is fire, and Leo is fire. So Jupiter, that's 120 degrees. All right? Now, okay, let's do that. So 100. So and then Jupiter also makes a trine to the moon. So you see, Saturn, by nature of being, by virtue of being opposite the sun and the moon, he is the great opposer, Satan, the one who opposes the light. He is the Lord of darkness, Capricorn and Aquarius, the winter, the night. Okay? Jupiter is friendly to the sun and friendly to the moon. Saturn is not friendly to either of them. So that's why Jupiter is the greater benefic, because this trine, the trine is benefic. Okay, so we've got malefic, and benefic. Okay, Saturn and Mars. Saturn and Mars are both malefics, and Jupiter and Venus are both benefics. Saturn is the greater malefic, Mars is the lesser malefic, Jupiter is the greater benefic, Venus is the lesser benefic, and we're going to find out exactly right now why. All right. So make sure everyone's still there. I haven't lost everyone, have I? No. Okay. So now Venus makes a sextile to the sun and a sextile to the moon. Well, that's 60 degrees, half of 120. And that is also a benefic. Remember, these two are good. Mars, we should have done Mars first. Mars makes a square to Venus, and Mars makes a square to the sun. Now, a square is 90 degrees, which is a half of 180. So these two bad boys, the square and the opposition, the red and the black, this is less harmful than this one. This is the most harmful one. So when you do your transits, you want to find out where the moon is, if it's going to be opposite your sun. Well, then you know, tomorrow my moon is going to be opposite the sun, your natal sun. Then you will know. You'll just know. It's good to know. All right, so we see that, and then Mercury is the semi-sextile, which is not so important. We're not going to use that so much. But that angle there is pretty neutral. Mercury is neutral because it's next to the rulers. So it's always close to the sun. It's never away from the sun. So obviously Mercury, the domiciles of Mercury are going to be the closest to the sun. Then Venus is further out, Mars is further out, Jupiter is further out, and the sun and Saturn is further out. Right? So why are these good and why are these bad? Well, see, this is called tetragonal radiation. This here is called tetragonal radiation. This one. Okay? Bad. This one here, tetragonal. Mars, the square. So the opposition and the square are naughty boys. Right? Now, the trine is called trigonal radiation. Trigonal. Okay. So this is good. This is benefic. Okay. So when you have a trine, a blue trine, and mostly the aspects are red and blue. So I've always said blue is good, red is evil. So really, I should have put this as red. These satanic oppositions. All right. Now, Venus, that's called hexagonal radiation. All right. So what we don't want is these boys. We don't want a lot of squares in our chart. We don't want planets, you know, one in Aries and one in Cancer that don't like those signs. We don't want them squaring. That's something it's going to be. It may not be a bad thing. It may actually be a very, very good thing, depending on the rest of your chart. But generally, you don't want that. It's like generally you don't want a new car that has paintwork falling off. You want the paint to be good for 10 years, right? So we're looking for good things and bad things, and this is how we find them in the chart, okay? So, all right, so we've got Venus rules the sextile. This is called a sextile. Mars rules the square. Jupiter rules the trine. And Saturn rules the opposition. Okay? So let's get into that now. Let's elaborate. So Jupiter, he is hot and moist. See these lines, these trines, 120 degrees, they are hot and moist. Heat and moisture are better than cold and dryness. Saturn is cold and dry. So this is why it's Jesus and Satan. Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus, and Saturn, Satan. How much food can you grow when it's cold and dry? Well, that's what oppositions are, cold and dry. They are sending cold. One planet opposite another planet over here is sending cold, dry rays. All right, that's the opposition. 180 degrees, 120 is hot and moist. Venus, she is warm and moist. She's not as good as Saturn, Jupiter, because Jupiter is hot and moist. How good does your garden grow when it's hot and wet? Yeah, that's Jupiter energy. We all know what the sun, we know how the sun interacts with us. We know how the moon interacts with our emotions. But what about Jupiter? Well, Jupiter gives you heat and moisture. Remember, moisture is the start of every wave, and then heat, but then dryness and coldness belonging to Saturn are bad. See, these are the active humours, these are the passive humours. Now, Mars, he is hot and dry. That's why he's not as bad as Saturn, because Saturn is cold and dry. At least with Mars, you've got heat. So Mars is called the lesser malefic. Malefic, you know, malicious, malignant, malign, you know what mal means. Mal means not good. Okay, so it's a malefic. Mars is a lesser malefic because he has at least he has some heat. All right. Now Mercury on the other hand, he's kind of I think he's cold and moist. I don't know. I don't care right now because I just want to do the main four. because I showed you that this guy is the ruler of the trine, and the trine is hot and moist. That's why everyone wants a grand trine in their chart. I have a trine. I've got a trine from my sun in Aries to Mars in Leo, my heart. That's called a reciprocation. So the sun rules the heart and Mars rules Aries. They're flipped over. My sun is here and Mars is here, whereas Mars is the ruler of Aries and the sun is the ruler of Leo. So my trine is called a reciprocation, which is extra. Well, it's special. Any trine is special because it's hot and moist. What we really don't want is these 180 degrees straight through the center, red lines, because they're cold and dry. And they are tetragonal radiation. Trigonal radiation, hexagonal radiation, tetragonal radiation. Not good. All right, so how are we going for time? Okay, I'm going to wind up because I was worried with all the technical problems that I wouldn't get to finish the nature of the planets and the nature of these 4 frequencies and the 3 modalities. Okay, so now we know why there are 12 signs and why they are all different. Because one might think, but wait a minute, Aries is fire and Leo is fire, so they should be the same. No. Remember, at 6 o'clock in the morning, Aries, it's generally, I mean, weather can change, but let's just say there's no clouds in the sky, right? We know that the energy of the fire of Aries in the morning is different to the energy at 3 o'clock in the afternoon of Leo fire. This is fixed fire. This is cardinal fire. It's beginning. It's the start of the day. But here, that's the hottest part of the day, and the coldest part of the day is opposite, Aquarius and Pisces, between 2 and 6 in the morning. Everyone knows that, right? So you can already see the difference. The difference is in the modality. Cardinal people, all these people, okay, let's do it this way. Cardinal people, because they're on the angles, there's the equinox. Bang, bang, Libra and Capricorn. So Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, they are cardinal people. Those people, they start things and they start them good. They're good leaders. They're good initiators. They're good motivators. And what's the word I was thinking? There was a word, but never mind. Now, the fixed people, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, they are much more stable. They keep things stable. They like to not change things, or when they do change things, they change them just to keep them the same. Some of them are hoarders. They're not really into changing a lot. They like things fixed. They like just how it is. Don't go into their homes and tell them that, you know, that plant should be over there and your feng shui is all wrong, because they'll kick you out. They don't want to change it. They know what to do. Whereas these guys here, the mutable people, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Gemini, they're much more flexible, more pliable, malleable. They finish things. You see, So it's always the same: starting, keeping things the same, and finishing things. So if you want someone to do your bookwork, get a mutable. The guy who works for me, he's been working for me for over 2 years. He's a Gemini. So he goes out and does all my shopping, pays all my bills and everything. All right? Mario, he's a Gemini. They love to travel around, short trips, and they love buying and selling and communicating. So they're the people that you want to, especially a Virgo, they're the hardest working and mutable. So they listen. It wouldn't be like a Capricorn and an Aries. They don't listen. They're cardinal. They already know why they're here and they're already running. And you're trying to tell them, no, stop. It's the other way. And then, it's all right. I'm a cardinal sign. I know where I'm going. Whereas the mutable people tend more to listen. They can be stubborn too, but it's their nature, it's their frequency, which is mutable, which makes them the finishers. All right, guys, I think I've done enough talking, and I don't know why I'm speaking so loud, because I've got this microphone so I don't have to yell, and I'm still in the habit of yelling. So next week, guys, no more public, because I did make a decision in May of last year that I would retire from public, social media and all of that stuff. It has been good for me, and it has been very, very harmful as well. I've noticed the relationship between my itching and how much time I spend on the computer. There's definitely a relationship there. So to be in the private is how I feel I want to be. I may one day come back out in the public. I don't know, but I kind of got burnt in the public. It's just not. It's not for me. So for all you people who haven't subscribed, it's free. Just join my Patreon for free, and the rest of the series will be there. And I'll be doing all my work from there. Everything will be on Patreon. Very soon, I'm going to get it all off Patreon and put it on my website, and everything is going to be on my website, because I've lost channels, I've lost accounts, you know how it is. So I've got a guy helping me who is absolutely, he just lives down here in Guatemala, just next door to me. And he's working on the back end of my website to make it a real whiz-bang website. And it's going to have, I'm going to have books. If you want books on tissue salts, if you want books on raising the chrism, I'll be having books, PDF books available. So my website is universaltruthschool.com. Right, I recommend you go to that. And for all you people who want to continue with this series, you just have to go private. It's still free. You just have to join Patreon, because I don't want this information out for the general public, because they're not ready for it. Okay, I want to give this to people who are worthy. You know, I can see the names of people that have been around for a while. How are we going with the trolls? Has anyone been muted out? Let's have a look. No, isn't that good? Thanks, moderators. Man, oh man, not one negative comment. You see, oh yeah, someone was deleted, but I don't think that was a baddie. Oh boy, man, a lot of people talking in here. That's been great. So that means my new channel is getting some traction. Please share my new channel. I will get part 1 and put it onto this channel, and I'll also get this part 2 and put it on the other channel, because I want the public to have those 2 parts, and so that they know where they can go if they want if they want to learn the mother of all sciences, astrology. And if they don't, that's fine. That's fine by me. Everything's fine. Sounds good. So thanks, guys. Much love. And I'm going to be back on Tuesday. That's why I got on here today on Saturday, because I had the energy. I got fed up with all the fails and all the fails for one reason or another, either the computer or either the software I was using. And it's very, very frustrating when you really want to do something and you can't, because it eats at your nerves. You lose sleep, you lose peace, it's been very, very difficult for me. I just want things to flow. So I've got people helping me now, got a lot of people helping me. And I would really want to thank Nolan, Rose in there. He has helped me to make today be successful. He spent hours and hours on Skype, screen sharing. And then, of course, I've got Dennis. Hey, Dennis, are you in here? Dennis is the guy who's working on my website. I wonder what his name is in here, if he's listening. Let me know if you're in, Dennis. Just say hello. Is that you? Augmented Knowledge Lab. All right, so there they are, right there. Augmented Knowledge Lab. He's the guy who sent me that video on the astrolabe, which is on my Syncretism channel, and he's finally fixing my website. And then I've got a Rose who made today's presentation possible. I want to thank all of you. You're all helping me. So blessings to you, and see you on Tuesday. Much love.